Shadows whisper, voices sound. Welcome in to Paranormal Bound. Footsteps fall where none should be. The dark is waiting. Come and see.
Shadows rise. Air grows hot.
Guard my soul. Touch me not.
Chains are dark, circle round.
Sealed in silence, paranormal bound.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Paranormal Bound. I am Nathan,
I'm Ronnie.
And I'm Rachel.
and welcome to episode number 3. Hope you guys have enjoyed the first 2. We are uploading a couple of episodes every week, so please tune back in. You'll have plenty more to binge on over the next couple of months. And today's episode is the infamous Salem witch trials. And we're going to try to break down tonight what exactly happened on those dark days back in the late 1600s. And I believe, Ronnie, I think it was late 1600s, early 1700s, if I'm not mistaken, because the preacher that took over that church came in like 1698, so...
Yeah, it was the year 1692.
Oh, okay. So I was off a couple of years. But for those of you who don't know this story, basically, let me just give you the background. So the Salem witch trials took place in 1692 and went on until 1693 in colonial Massachusetts. Now, this was an early settlement in America. This settlement came originally from England. They were getting away from the church over there, the Catholic Church, I believe, because they wanted to run their lives the way they wanted to. So, at the time, Salem Village, and this is modern-day Danvers, Massachusetts, by the way, was a small settlement with strict religious beliefs and social tensions. Fear of the devil, combined with political instability, recent wars with indigenous groups, and economic rivalries created a climate ripe for paranoia. And if you guys have seen movies, the time era, they were terrified of witchcraft. Like, I don't know if witchcraft was like a real go-to back then for the dark-minded, but they were scared of it. It was like a plague to this part of the world. What do you guys think about that?
They just, I don't know, I mean, it started with 2 sick children, and the doctor saying they had been bewitched. So, yeah, paranoia for sure. But they didn't, back then, they couldn't tell you, hey, you've got the flu. Or, hey. Oh, shit. I thought you were talking to her.
No.
Anyways, they couldn't give you a better reason for why you're acting like this. You know, those 2 children, which, that it started with, could have, you know, just like had a high-ass fever, like hay fever or some shit. Some crazy disease.
Yeah, and they thought that, oh, someone put a curse on my child.
Yes. What if that I don't know, the lady that was supposed to be helping them, like, since she couldn't cure them, they just said you're a witch.
Yeah.
You can't fix them.
Yeah, like you must have put a hex on this person.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're a witch. And guys, if you really look into these stories, back then, being called a witch was probably the worst thing you could have been called, because this was a very paranoid religious settlement in this whole area. So witches, like, after you got named as a witch, I did, when I was doing research on this, I found out that being called a witch, even if you went to trial and did not get killed, your neighbors would not consider you a neighbor anymore. You were basically ostracized from this community because you were a witch, or you were called a witch. So it was just rough. So if we get to the spark of everything that really started, in early 1692, several young girls in Salem Village, including Betty Paris and Abigail Williams, began exhibiting strange fits, convulsions, and hysterical behaviors. Doctors could not find a physical cause and suggested that the possibility of witchcraft, which is what you were just saying, Rachel. So, pressured to explain their behavior, the girls accused local women of bewitching them. So, what I want to know is this current thing that their convulsions and everything, what were they actually doing? If they were saying, oh, someone bewitched us, someone put a hex on us, what were they actually doing? What's y'all's thoughts on that?
I really don't know, man. I truly believe that these children had a disease, a sickness. Like, I don't think they were bewitched. I think
Right, because
legit disease, sickness, whatever.
yeah, because then it happened to like 3 other girls in the same village, so like it spreaded as an illness. But if it did that, then why was the parents not sick? Why were the adults not acting crazy?
It makes you wonder if someone actually put some kind of curse on them. Because this is the part of the story that Tituba comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
So, the first 3 accused were Tituba, which she was an enslaved woman from the Caribbean. And she was of native descent, so she was not African. But she could have easily found witchcraft or voodoo at a certain time in her life. And this is a woman that probably did not like the townspeople that much because she was a slave. She was probably treated very badly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, Tituba, Sarah Good, and Sarah Good was just it says that she was just a beggar. She was just like a homeless girl or something like that. And Sarah Osborne, an older, unpopular woman in the village, their social status made them easy targets. So you've got a slave, a beggar, and just an older, an old hag, basically. So you got 3 people who are very unliked in this community that are having these convulsions. So, according to that, I don't think it was, they weren't kids. These were just unwanted women.
Yeah, but I didn't think that. Did those 3 have the same thing happen to them?
They were the first accused. So, wait. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, my bad. So, basically, they think this is coming from these 3 women.
Yeah, these are the tormentors. They think
tormentors.
these 3 women are...
Yeah, no.
Okay, so the kids are the ones having this sickness. They don't know what it is. Obviously, medicine wasn't what it is now. So they're thinking, that it's those 3 women, definitely. Great. These women must be witches, and that's why our babies are sick. Put them on trial. And they did, by the way, too. Something I found out, the governor of the state had to be there for every trial, but he was overseas in England doing something for the state or the area he was in. So they had to go to jail for months waiting on him. In chains, by the way. Chained up to the next person there. So yeah. I don't know, Ronnie, what are you thinking over there?
Honestly, as a former practicing witch myself, I really feel for these 3 women, especially if they were not practicing witches of any sort. And of course, I feel bad for the daughters of all those parents who were accusing. But I don't know. Let's get deeper into the story.
All right, so the spread. Once accusations began, they escalated rapidly. People pointed fingers at neighbors, rivals, and even respected community members. Fear spread like wildfire. If you didn't accuse someone, you might be accused yourself. Courts began accepting spectral evidence, meaning testimony that the spirit or spectator of the accused had appeared in a dream or a vision. Now imagine that. I had a dream that my neighbor was a witch and she was practicing bad things in her house. That would have got you accused. Now, I found out, I thought that the local police in the area, or whatever they were called there, or the court officials could just say, "You're a witch, hang her." That's not how it worked, though. They actually had more of a rule of law. They had to put you on trial. Now, just because you're on trial, back then they didn't have lawyers. But they would allow the people of the village to come in and basically heckle the whole damn thing too, which didn't help. These people thought you were a witch, and they're like, "Hang them, hang them, hang them." So, like, it wasn't an ideal place to be.
Right.
Like, if I'm gonna travel to a new land, I'm just gonna go find a corner of the woods and say, "Go away." You know? So, trials and executions. Special courts were set up to deal with the growing number of cases between 1692 and 1693. More than 200 people were accused of practicing witchcraft. 30 were found guilty. 19 were hanged. 14 women and 5 men. This got so bad, some men. I actually read somewhere that one of them was a priest that they accused. Right before he died, they said that he went up and his last words were the Lord's Prayer. And they said a practicing witch could not say that without stumbling. He said it perfectly. And then he was hung. But that started giving them doubt of what they were doing, because he just said the Lord's Prayer perfectly as it was written.
And I bet they accused him because he had different religious beliefs than them. They seem very, like, extreme in their beliefs.
Yeah. And it's weird, too, because they left England for that reason, and they became what they left. That's what it didn't make sense. Like, Okay, so one man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death with heavy stones for refusing to enter a plea. So he's just like, no, pressed to death. That is horrible.
Yeah.
At least 5 others died awaiting trial. So they were in jail for so long they ended up dying there.
It's insane. Hell, I thought the death penalty process was pretty quick back in those days.
It was either hanging. Didn't you say that you had heard someone were burned at the stake in that era?
Yeah.
God, because it was supposedly burning the witches were to purify their souls or something like that. Which is a terrible fucking way to go.
And you know that they had infants included that died in the prisons.
Did what?
Yeah.
They imprison infants?
Yeah, it said that there were at least 5 others that died in prison, including infants.
That is fucking horrible. What is this, women that gave birth in prison, or did they actually bring them in with their children?
Either they got pregnant in prison, or they birthed their children in prison.
That is horrible. Just when you think a story can't get any worse, it gets worse. Like, that is terrifying.
Right. I couldn't imagine in today's time.
Uh-uh.
I'm glad things have changed.
Oh, yeah.
Very inhumane.
Well, I mean, the conditions back then had to be terrible, too. Like, a stone wall, stone floor, chained together, sitting on a little crappy wooden bench.
Yeah. Just the life expectancy was shit back then. That's why I think those 3 kids that it started with, they were sick. They were not bewitched.
Yeah.
They just wanted to blame somebody. Which the slave could have, been into voodoo of some sort, but I don't think she bewitched them. I think she may have been like using their techniques of healing
Mm-hmm.
and trying that out, and that's what got her accused.
Tituba was the only one that pleaded guilty to the act itself, and she wasn't hung because of it. She did go to prison though.
But I wonder, like, did she say she was guilty because she was really guilty, or was she guilty to escape what kind of hell she'd been being put through?
Well, I wondered about that too, but what I found out was any of these witches, if they were witches or not, but if they pled guilty to it, they would just do jail time and they would be spared from the hang. So their lives would be spared, but their lives would be ruined. That was the only thing. And in that time era, I mean, it's not like you can just move to another town 10 miles down the road.
Yep.
If you are shunned by the entire village, you're not getting goods, you're not getting services, you're going to have to go out and live on your own. And this was the only form of society they had. So it's like being charged with a crime here now, and then literally just having to go live off a piece of land somewhere that you just find because you are shunned from everyone. No one wants to see you.
Yeah, and I guess back in those days, like with the Native Americans and stuff like that, that really wasn't an option because, how we did, handle that situation.
Yeah.
So the Native Americans were probably very hostile towards colonizers, which I would be too.
I had read somewhere that Native Americans in this area did not like the people in Salem, so they did not help them at all
Oh, well.
because of that whole land jump.
Yeah.
So they couldn't leave. Huh?
I would be pissed too, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
White people. It's always white people. Fucking shit up.
It is always white people.
So the aftermath, the Salem witch trials left a deep scar on New England's history in the years following. Public apologies were issued, including by Judge Samuel Sowell. I'm probably saying that wrong. Surviving families of the accused were given some compensation. The trials became a lasting symbol of the dangers of mass hysteria, religious extremism, and a flawed justice. Now, that's one thing that doesn't really get spoken about. That was a mass hysteria. Like, it was like during COVID when they were running all the numbers on every screen in the world.
Dude, I remember watching that.
Yeah.
No,
And it was a death toll too. It was just kept on going up.
Dude, yeah. Every day.
It caused mass hysteria.
Sure did.
So this is one of those stories that, and the reason we wanted to bring it up is we want to figure out, like, we want to go into discussion and figure out, was this really witchcraft? Was this mass hysteria? Was this mistaken identity? What was this? Because in my own personal opinion, I think it was a mixture of mass hysteria and no, actually I just think it was mass hysteria, because I like what you guys were saying, like the fact that these kids were sick with something, some kind of virus went through the village, obviously.
Right. And it had to affect the children differently.
Yeah, but why wasn't it affecting the parents though?
Well,
Now, what if they were so sickly and on the brink of death that something was actually around? Because that land can be haunted,
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what if something was trying to possess these girls?
The Native Americans probably cursed that land after it was stolen.
Probably.
If I had the power to do it and someone stole my land, I would.
Absolutely.
So a curse was running rampant, but I don't think it was witchcraft. And I've never looked up what was the reason for being a witch in the time frame. Did they do it for spite, or was there actually good witches?
Yeah, there were some healers, and to my knowledge and stories that I've heard, there were women who the people knew were quote-unquote witches, but they were doing good.
Mhm.
And it was like, they were having affairs, so that's why they were kept alive, and their shops were kept open, and like their spices, their herbs that they would give to people who were sick when they would come to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's my take. That's just stories that I've heard.
So there were good witches, there were bad witches. And of course, the bad ones could have been doing it out of revenge or something like that. I mean, if you were accused of being a witch in this time frame and you were shunned because you found guilty and you did some jail time and you got out, you would be a witch. You might as well go for it, right?
Right, absolutely. I mean, if I'm accused of it and I'm getting punished for it, you're damn right I'm gonna learn that shit while I'm in prison, and I'm gonna use that shit.
Exactly.
Spiteful.
Yeah.
Power to them, and I hope they did.
It was, I don't know, this is just I just find it so funny that they left England for the very reason that they became. They became the same controlling powerhouse that they left.
Yep.
It's like you didn't. And of course, you hear rumors about this story all the time about, like, they buried all their bodies in a mass grave, which I don't know how true that is. That could be true. I think I heard that they did that and then later on dug them up and buried them separately. Maybe after the hysteria died down, they're like, okay, we'll really fuck this up. We've got to make it right.
I've never looked into what happened to their bodies after. Never looked into that.
If they buried their bodies together, that is a haunted ground.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is some deadly haunted ground.
And imagine who was there before them, and how many bodies were already there, who already practiced, and who could have already called on to do seances and stuff. Like, that land could have already been past haunted.
And it would have been close to the beach because that was that was the way to England, yes. How you had to get to England. So, somewhere up there. And I think I've been through this area, but I've never actually stopped in. So.
You've been to England?
No, New England, up there in Massachusetts.
Driving?
Yeah. So, it
would be cool to visit, but for the most part, I don't think it was really witchcraft. More like, healers, like you were saying.
Healers that were just basically thrown to the ground saying you're the devil.
Yeah. But
yeah, once things went sideways.
Oh, some healers. I think the rest were just low status people.
Even people nowadays are terrified of what they don't understand.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, that still exists to this day. Not all voodoo is bad, just like not all witchcraft is bad.
Right.
I think I'm saying that right. There's some good voodoo, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's white magic, then there's black magic, then there's gray area magic, and I have done all of them, and they all come with a price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so most people will just say, oh, that's all bad, it's the devil's work and stuff like that. So, like I said, they're terrified of what they don't understand.
I guess it depends on how you use it.
Yeah. If you're given an amount of power, people who are given power every day abuse it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But not everybody abuses their power. I think that's a good takeaway from the Salem trials. And at least at some point it says public apologies were issued and surviving families of the accused were given compensation. It doesn't say when, but hopefully this was around sometime after when they finally came off that high from that mass hysteria and they're like, oh,
we just killed so many people.
Yeah, so a lot of people just died because of what we did.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they should have been jailed. The ones who got it all wrong.
False accusations.
The governor of that state should have. Well, the story I heard said governor. I don't know if he was the governor of Massachusetts, but it was the guy in charge of the courts. So he should have been given some kind of sentence. But I doubt he was. So yeah, I mean, in short, we're trying to figure out exactly what went down. We know there was a lot of killing, there was a lot of accusation. Obviously, it was a mass hysteria. So I think with that conversation, we actually just debunked the Salem witch trials. There was no witches.
Yeah. Just, I mean, maybe a few of them that were accused, healers, using different healing techniques
Yeah.
as to what they were used to seeing.
Well, when there is good, there is bad. So there could have absolutely been good and healers in this village, but there also, I don't doubt for a second that there were bad witches or people with bad intentions there, because most spells are based on intention. Or not most, all of them are. I mean, you can do things to add to it, to intensify or whatever, but it's mainly based on your intention. So I'm sure once people learned, the ones who were getting their fingers pointed at, I'm sure, after getting bullied, they learned it. I don't doubt for a second.
I mean, for all we know, the people in charge of the courts were practicing witches.
Yeah.
They just were never accused.
It's just wild that they accused a priest. It's crazy.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
He's not mentioned very much in the story either.
That's definitely because he had different religious views than them.
Yeah,
Had to have been.
but he recited the Lord's Prayer perfectly, and when that happened, according to the story, the whole crowd went silent. They're like, he's not supposed to be able to do that. But someone showed up who was for all the hangings, and they went on with it anyway.
Oh, well.
So I think the crowd, I mean, that was basically a court of public opinion is what that was. And that crowd basically was like, wait a minute, hold on. That was like the wrench in the system that really stopped it, that slowed it down.
I wonder how many, truly innocent people out of the 19 that got killed. Was it 19 that died?
19 were hung.
Okay. But anyways, how many was...
There were over 200 was accused. There was around 30 that were convicted. 19 of them were hung. One was pressed to death with stones, and then at least 5 died in jail, including infants.
Okay, so all of the people that died because of this, yeah, I bet that place is haunted as hell.
Absolutely. I don't doubt that for a
Especially
minute.
if the courthouse is still
Mad,
standing.
sad spirits, yeah. Is it? Is there?
I bet the grounds is still there.
Because that's like a big place to visit. I've never just looked into the area.
Well, I think
The story.
ghosts come from bad things that happen in a certain place. That's why I don't think cemeteries are haunted. Cemetery is just a place to rest. But, that's why I think ghosts haunt certain areas. Like a story that you guys will hear on a future episode that we'll talk about, a ghost haunts the land. Whether the ghost is violent or not, she's still there. This one story of this one of the victims, one of the men who did not get a plea, like he would not say he was a witch or a warlock or anything like that. I think he just stayed so resilient on it. He was just like, no, I'm not doing this with you guys. I'm not a witch. I'm not going to say I am. But he was pressed to death with rocks?
Yeah, that's
Like, that's medieval.
yeah.
Yeah, and you gotta think those were probably big old stones.
Yeah.
Ugh.
God. Okay, he won't go into a plea, so he must be a witch. Kill him.
Yeah, I wonder what the purpose of pressing him to death was. Like, that's
That is dark.
And did y'all know that Sarah Good had a daughter named Dorothy Good? She was just 4 years old when she was accused of being a witch. Other children would hit her and claim that her spirit bit them after she passed. Yeah. She was thrown in a dungeon, shackled with heavy irons.
She wasn't going nowhere from the spot she
A 4-year-old, she cried for her mother, who was later hung
was.
for
in jail. But she was released, but she didn't recover from being in there. And then neighbors in the village, they said that she wandered the village of Salem, but couldn't find her mother.
That is
And
horrible.
yeah, story states that she still wanders looking for her mom.
I see that.
She is doomed for eternity to just wander those woods, trying to find someone that's not there.
She was in jail for months, guys. A 4-year-old.
That's not even right. Now, even the people in that era, how do they come to terms with putting a 4-year-old in jail? They just,
Yeah.
And then they accused a dog of being a witch.
oh yeah, mass hysteria for sure.
They thought it would weaken the devil's power.
A spider just bit me. It's a damn witch.
Right.
Kill the spider now. No, we've got to put it on trial. Put it in jail with the rest of them. Sounds like fucking yellow fever or something.
Yeah.
It would do good to go deeper on another episode and try to figure out what caused it, like some type of disease. Was this the first signs in America of schizophrenia? 'Cause imagine someone with schizophrenia back in the late 1600s. You're going to think it's a witch. You're going to think it's a damn demon looking at you.
Yeah.
And they didn't have meds for it.
They didn't even think that existed.
No.
So,
I'm sure the Indians had some type of medicine for something like that. The Indians were more knowledgeable about medicine than they were.
definitely.
And still to this day are. They still go and make medicines out of leaves and grass and berries.
Yeah, there's a guy that, which this is not Indians, but there's a guy that he lives in the Amazon forest. He's from New York. He ended up going to the Amazon to help, and he ended up loving it there, and he stays there. But he does podcasts in America when he comes home. But he would get diseases. He would fly back to America. They would not know what the hell it was, and he would fly back to the Amazon, and he knew a guy that said, oh, yeah, here, put this in some tea, drink it, you'll be better in the morning. And he was every time, because the medicines they have over there are way better than what we have.
Right.
Because they have stuff that is actually going to actually going to heal you. Our medicines just keep you sick. Majority of them anyway.
Yeah.
You can't make money off someone that you just healed,
Mm-mm.
which is sad.
Definitely was a joke.
So where are you guys at on this episode? Do you think it was mass hysteria for the most part?
I think Rachel, you go ahead. You tell what you think first, and then I'll tell.
Yeah, I think it was mass hysteria. Like, everybody freaking out. Like the COVID thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think it was a lot of... I do not believe 200 people in one tiny town could be witches.
No, ain't no doubt.
Maybe a few. I don't even know what the population of that area was back then, but there is no way in hell 200 people in a small town.
I think it was like
Witches.
300 or 400 people in the village.
That's half your community.
Yeah,
That's no. Definitely not. I have.
maybe five in the whole community were witches probably,
Yeah.
and they probably didn't even get accused.
Yep.
They're like, as soon as they start seeing, they're like, nope, I'm backing it. Praise the Lord.
And then those witches are the ones who started pointing fingers at random people.
Mm-hmm.
And then those people started pointing fingers at animals. It was just a circle of blame.
Yep.
And I'm sure that's why it grew to 200.
Yeah, with one powerhouse that instead of figuring it out would just hang you.
Yeah. See, my grasp on this story, what I feel happened is that, like I said earlier, there was the good witches who the people knew about. Not the people, but like what are they called? The hierarchy people.
Oh, the governors and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
So
in charge.
yes, I feel like the people in charge knew about at least one person. Maybe they were having an affair, right? Well, someone found out, someone started pointing blame. Maybe she was a witch, maybe she wasn't. Then that started circling around. And then other witches heard, and then other people bringing out their practicing bad, doing bad on people. You know, women are dramatic. They do too much all the time.
Now you said it, not me.
Yeah. So I do feel like at first there's truth to the story, but absolutely a mass hysteria. I agree.
And a mass hysteria on this note, if I was a woman in that era, and I was accused of being a witch and I wasn't, I would say I was and then become one and put hexes on every damn body.
Especially if I was sitting in a prison.
Oh, yeah.
And with children, because intention is what gives power to spells. And if you are a mother or a woman who feels motherly to a child, like that was just one 4-year-old. There were infants and toddlers that were in jail.
That's terrible.
So these women or men could have this, how could you do this to us? How could you do this to children? What's wrong with you? Where's your hearts? Absolutely. I think that added to, I think they absolutely practiced the witchcraft, done the hexes, done spells,
Yeah.
cursed them.
Just a spot because one of the ones you accuse.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily spot, but get back. That was the wrong word to use.
I don't know. Spot is, I mean, that's a seemingly right word in my mind.
Yeah, maybe the whole town was very spiteful. Pointing fingers, oh, this one's a witch, because, they didn't like this said person.
And you would feel some type of power in your own self if you said that person's a witch and they took you seriously.
Right.
And in that time era, there's not a lot of powerful people. The ones who are powerful wear a weird white bib on the front of their shirt.
Yeah.
So, let us know what you guys think in the comment section. And by the way, guys, if you want to tell your story, send it in. Leave it in a comment on one of the YouTube videos. I don't care how long it is. We will tell the story, and we'll have a discussion about it. So, until next time, I'm Nathan.
I'm Ronnie.
I'm Rachel.
And we will see you guys on the next episode.
Bye.